Amelia Bedelia Shapes Up, Chapter 3. Little pitchers have red ears. Amelia Bedelia tried her best to go to sleep, but it was way too early for that. Plus, she kept hearing her mother and father saying her name again and again. Was something wrong? Was she in trouble? Why were they talking about her? Amelia Bedelia slipped out of bed and tiptoed down the hall to the top of the stairs. She poked her face between the splinters of the stairway. Now she could hear everything her parents were saying. Amelia Bedelia seems fine to me, said her mother, but maybe she's having coordination problems. What kind of problem? Amelia Bedelia looked down at her pajamas. The bottoms matched the top perfectly. All her outfits were coordinated. She loved matching colors and patterns, and she could get stronger than, said her father. Get in shape. Amelia Bedelia looked at herself. This was her shape. The only shape she had. She wasn't a jellyfish or an octopus or a cat. She was a girl. Maybe she just not that interested in sports, said her mother. Amelia Bedelia almost shouted. Bingo! She liked sports, but she wasn't crazy about them. Why should she be? In her last try at sports, she had come in second in the crummy water fountain, and her own parents thought she should get coordinated into a new shape. One thing's for certain, said her mother. The corner of her mouth are droopy. That means that our cupcake is unhappy. Unhappy, exclaimed her father. Shh, said her mother. She'll hear you. Let our pitchers have big ears. Amelia Bedelia was puzzled. Had she heard that right? Did her mom want Amelia Bedelia to be a pitcher and play baseball? Or was she saying Amelia Bedelia had big ears? She had lots of friends, said her father in a quieter voice. All the kids love her. True, said her mother. But if you were always the last one picked for a team, you might not love yourself. Her parents were talking softly now, so Amelia Bedelia had to strain to hear them. She pressed her face between the spindles as far as she could and tilted her ear toward the kitchen. She caught words like self-confidence in sports camp. Then she had a pop, 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 pop. Her mom was making popcorn for just the two of them. The wonderful aroma and freshly popped popcorn wafted upstairs, which torture inhaled deeply. Amelia Bedelia pushed her face against the spindle until pop! Her entire head went through. Amelia Bedelia yanked her head back. Ow! Her ears were caught. Her mom was right again. Her ears were too big for her own good. She could hear her parents clearly now, but she couldn't pay attention. She was too busy twisting and turning her head, trying to pull it out from between the spindles. No luck. She'd heard her name and something about golf. Then Amelia Bedelia heard her father say, I've got an early tea time. Let's hit the sack. Before Amelia Bedelia could wonder why her father was going to a tea party and punching a bag, her parents began turning off lights. Yep, she thought, they're coming upstairs. Her parents would see her head pondering from the stairway, like that stuffed deer head decoration in the family room in her friend Roger's house. Amelia Bedelia was so desperate that she did a really gross thing. She spit on her fingers and then rubbed the spit behind her ears to make them slick. Then she steadily pulled her head until pop! Freedom! As the lights went out in the kitchen, Amelia Bedelia scrambled down the hall and jumped back into bed. She dove under the covers and shut her eyes. Seconds later, her parents tiptoed into her bedroom and stood right next to her bed. Her dad leaned down to kiss her good night, and his hand brushed her ear. Then he felt her own ear. Hey, honey, she whispered. Amelia Bedelia's ears feel hot. Said her mother, as she pushed the hair off Amelia Bedelia's forehead, then gently touched her ears. No fever, but we were talking about her, so now her ears are burning. Amelia Bedelia didn't say a word. After her parents left quietly, she and her fury ears kept pretending to be asleep until at last she was.